Hello, Alyssa. How are
Hello
you
and
doing?
howdy. Welcome to React Wednesdays.
React, what?
I just
What
thought
are,
it would
what
be
are we
funny.
reacting to?
I just was like behind the scenes during the countdown, like giving myself a good old laugh about that intro. So I thought I had to.
Is that a show where it's like kids react to old technology?
Yeah. Like they hold your old flip phone and they just like look at it in wonder. Yeah. That's
Have you seen those videos? They're actually really good.
oh my god, no, this is a thing.
Oh yeah, it's a thing. You haven't seen the React to series?
I need to
Yeah.
go look it up right now.
Why is my camera so zoomed in? What is
Oh,
it
I was
doing?
actually gonna do it to match you. Here, let me.
I can't get it
Hello,
to
my name is
stop.
Ed. Good
Anyway,
morning, beautiful everybody. How are you all in the chat? Oh, today in VR land, I think we're gonna conquer the world. I mean, maybe we get a step closer every episode. So, but
a little bit, baby steps. So I've got a question for you, Alyssa. How
oh, tell
is
me.
the PC going?
Oh well, she does rainbow colors on her keyboard, and I've really
Warms up the room
enjoyed.
nicely.
It does actually. I really enjoyed using it. Actually, I didn't think it would be as fun as it is, and I've also enjoyed getting into .NET programming. That's been a lot of fun. But
Cool.
I need to like figure out the whole VRing because that's a word on it
We
situation.
need to
So
connect on that because that is one
yes.
of the best things about having a PC is that you can do all these things that you can't do somewhere else, like play games and create games and go
Mm.
into VR from your headset into your desktop and all of
How do
that
you
fun stuff.
so how do you create games for VR on your PC? What does that mean?
So you could download Unity and
Okay.
do some real game dev with Unity. You it looks
Hmm.
like you're drinking like a stout, like Guinness. Like, don't tell me that's coffee. That is Guinness. You're not fooling anybody with your coffee. It's
Yeah,
cold coffee.
it's
That's a
10
Guinness.
a.m. here, and I am not only drinking a stout, I'm drinking a stout with ice cubes in it. I think people would riot. No, I have an espresso, and I love me some iced espresso. It's actually kind of dangerous because it's just so easy to like drink 20. I don't, like.
It is, and that can result in
No.
some very bad health,
You're you're telling
as I
you're like
know.
warning to past self, Alyssa, do not drink 20 espressos.
Yeah.
I don't think you
So
ever got that bad though. I don't think
no,
you ever.
4 shots a day was doing it to me though. It was pretty
It's
bad.
so weird because
I
that's like
know.
5, 6 cups of coffee. Like I mean, like it's not that much more. Like,
Yeah. Decaf's working okay for now, but I think I've got some caffeine scheduled for later this month. I'm gonna hop on the caffeine wagon, see if anything happens again.
you're like test it out, like dip the toe in the pool. Like,
Yeah,
hmm.
maybe I'll do single shot just so I can have some real coffee again. It's
Hey,
been a
Aztec, good
sad
to see
summer.
you. Oh, I know. I
Um,
can't imagine. Although I am partial. I do like decaf coffee. Like after 3 p.m., I'll do decaf espresso or like decaf brewed coffee. Like, and I enjoy the flavor. I think it's delicious. So I don't know. I feel like it would be a bummer to not have the caffeine buzz, but other than that, like I would
I
still have
could
the
do
delicious flavor. Yeah.
completely without the caffeine as
Mm.
long as I could have the same flavor profiles that I get
Oh, that you're
with my
used to.
caffeinated coffee because I
Ah.
buy like small lot, like single batch, like exotic coffees that have
Here's
like wildly
hang on.
different flavors.
Here's Ed with his coffee.
It is true. I do have the little espresso cups. They're 2.5 ounce espresso
Oh
sips.
my
Um,
god.
but like I had this one, I kid you not, it tasted like limes and it tasted really good. Like, well, you're like lime coffee, what? So you'd drink the coffee, and then after you drank it, you would start tasting lime. and it was the most bizarre thing, but it was the coolest coffee I've ever
That's
had
like
so far.
literally one of those moments because I've had a couple of those in my life where like I'm seeing something or I'm hearing something and I'm like, is this it? Did I act? This is the moment when Alyssa, lost it. Like, so if I
Well,
started tasting lime, I'd be like, is this just me? Are we all good?
I
Yeah,
thought
Good
like
O'Brien says you have a huge top hat. Pip
when
pip.
I ordered it, I was like, this has got to be like one of those things that either are gonna love or hate. Like, there's no like, it was
And you
okay.
loved it? Did you love
Oh, it
it?
was amazing because it didn't. The coffee didn't taste like lime. The aftertaste tasted like lime.
Aftertaste, yeah. And I
So
get you. I get you. That's what we're all about here at this household. It's like if the aftertaste is not smooth, like fresh, crisp, like if you got that lingering like skunk taste in your mouth, we're like, this is not worth drinking. So I'm with you on that front. But I don't know if I'd go tropical with my aftertaste.
if you got a skunk taste going on, you're you're using the wrong kind of water for your coffee.
Oh, have
We
you
got way
my
off
mom.
topic.
I know. We gotta reel it back in. My mom says that coffee smells the same as skunk smell, and I'm like, man, that COVID did wonders on your nose, mom.
She's getting coffee from her pot dealer. That's the problem there. If I ever see that coffee again, I am so gonna buy some, and I will like. You don't have you have like a pod machine, don't you?
Nespresso, yeah. Well, I've got both. I've got K cups, and then I have Nespresso, which they both have
Okay.
pods. Yes,
If I ever
yes,
see
they
that
both have
coffee,
pods, Mister Schnoot.
the pod people.
Yeah, I think Fuel just called you out without calling you out, so props to that. But
If I ever see that coffee again, I will send you some.
the
But
lime coffee.
it is a rare one.
I
I've
know
only seen it
Aztec. That's
once.
exactly where my brain went whenever he was talking about limes. I was like, is he gonna like chase the coffee shop with a lime?
Oh, it was so good though. It was so good. It had like just like you ever
But
had
yeah,
like a fresh lime? You get a little bit of the peel, like the zest from the peel. That's what the
mhm.
coffee tastes like after you drink it. I was like, this is the best coffee ever. I love
Like while you
limes.
were drinking it, was it like
Yeah, yeah.
normal coffee? Oh my god, you love wine? So we're gonna go on like a
Limes,
wine.
lime.
I was like, so you're taking me to a
Mm.
winery, is what I'm
Wine gives me heartburn. It does not like me.
hearing.
I'm a sad old man.
You're like not old, but you pretend to be old, and that's why I laugh.
Yeah, I pretend. It's the greatest ruse of
Okay,
me
has anything
pretending to be old.
changed in the apps in Horizon since we last loaded
I
in?
don't know.
Do you know? Well, I just like double checked and I didn't get any like weird downloading things. So I'm assuming things are normal, but maybe halfway through the show we'll find out if something changed.
I have no idea if anything changed, but
Oh.
I do need to get the VR environment fired up. So let's see what we can do.
I've got
I gotta
Arcane.
find a way to show my desktop sometime
I don't
because you
understand.
can't see.
Do
You
you
can't
do you not
see the
already share your
PC.
desktop?
I only share the app because I don't think it shows the view that I have from VR, and I don't
I
think
see.
there's a way to show it because
Hmm.
the Oculus app runs in the Oculus, and then I remote desktop through it, and I can't
Yep.
share what I'm seeing in here. But I'd love to be able to show you because I want to show you how to set up your computer
I know. It's like a
and show you what you're going to experience, but I
lights are
can't.
being all jacked today. Hi. Let's see if we can fix this. I wonder if it's the
So you go
same.
through the Oculus Link app, which is originally designed for the Rift, but they opened it up to the Quest. So you get like your virtual space here. It's just kind of like a virtual grid or like in the nether. And then you have windows like a desktop. And you can like see your actual like monitors. Like now I can see you. So I have my windows in front of me, and the
Yeah, that's so
window is
bizarre to
like
like think.
as big as I want it.
That's so bizarre to think about you seeing like the screens in your VR headset.
So my daughter was like, she's like, I wanted to see this movie, and it was COVID, and now it's on uh, Funimation or whatever. And she watched it, and she's like, it would have been so awesome to see in the movie theater, though. And I was like, you should have just told me, and we could put the Oculus on, and you could have watched it like you're in the movie theater. She's like, why didn't we do that? Why?
What was the movie? I love Funimation. Aztec said I finally got the KB that works in VR and it's cool. What's KB?
Oh, keyboard.
What keyboard? Oh,
Yeah, they
okay.
have like a keyboard and a pass
So that you can
through for
like
your
work
keyboard, so you
in
can see
VR?
it. Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my gosh. And
it's
it
really
works
cool.
like and it works like it's not janky Aztec cuz that sounds awesome. I
It
was
does
wondering
sound
about
awesome.
that. I was like that's really the biggest thing stopping you from working is like typing with the paddles is like not that much fun.
Yeah, so your office can be as big as you want, and you can have as many monitors as you want. And with the
Worlds
Oculus
within
2, like
worlds.
the text is supposed to be not like screen door blurry like it is on the Quest 1.
Screen door blurry.
Yeah, like you can see like the individual pixels on the Quest 1 if you have good peepers. So
I apologize. So there's a mower that's mowing outside this window. A mower mowing. So apologies if you can hear him. If it gets bad, I'll mute.
there we go. We're in the horizons. Um, so we did stuff last week. We made some detail finally. So let's go
Aztec said that
in.
it takes a bit to get used to. It shows your hands. I just got it, but I need to spend more time working with it.
Yeah, like that's something I can't share on the stream is like pass through. Like that
What
doesn't there's no
happens? Like
streaming mechanism.
when you go into pass through, like does the screen just turn off? Like what happens?
So in pass through on mine when you kind of tap the side of do you know this trick? You tap the side of your headset.
Yeah, no, I just meant what happens on like the
So
desktop or on stream. Like does it
on when you're working with a keyboard like Aztec is talking about, there's a pass through that will just cover the keyboard so you can see the keyboard, or it will overlay a virtual keyboard on top of it so you can see it. So there's a couple ways I've seen that it works.
That sounds so trippy.
It does.
Aztec said, "Tell Ed if you cast to the web page and then capture the cast in OBS."
Yeah, I can do that, but it won't capture. It won't capture Oculus Link. It'll only capture the game that you're playing or the Oculus, like I don't know what you call it, the lobby or the like
It's
the little
looking
virtual.
so good.
Oh, I didn't mean to go out of it. Yeah, so now you can see like this can actually look like something pretty cool, right?
Oh, I
This
love
looks,
it.
see how the stones go down and it kind of transitions normally. It doesn't just like fall off to like a
How's the walking
square
on it?
edge.
Does it feel
Oh, it's
weird
fine.
like you're falling through or no, it's good?
No, there's a little bumpiness, but nothing really noticeable. And a floating marshmallow because, yeah,
I mean,
marshmallows are great.
everyone needs it.
I think it looks good
Oh.
though. I like this. We need some lanterns though. Little lanterns.
I know you were
up there
talking
would
about
be
that.
like
I'm
so
worried that
cool.
it's going to make some weird shadow issues
So
though. You think it'll be
we
good?
need to like this is a cheap way to do it, but
Are you going to make a mallow lantern and turn it invisible?
yeah, let's play around for a minute. So let's talk about lights for a second. So to make a light in here,
I feel
a
like
lot of
light
game.
is going to be like the most expensive asset of all. Do you think? Because like the
lighting in
shadows and
this
stuff
is
that it brings.
it's baked in. So baked in lighting happens at design time and not runtime. So
Okay, wait a minute.
modern.
I don't know if the web has design time. Which phase would you call that?
This is
I've heard of like compile time and runtime. Which one is design time?
That would be like when you're in. This is design time, so I'm in the designer. So there's, this is my spawn points. I can move around. I can build things. This is design time. So runtime is when the game or app is running. We're in the design mode. So when you're designing it, that's when all the lighting is being created, and then it's already there by the time you run the game. So let's make.
I mean, it's cool that you make up terminology. I'm totally here for it.
Sure, I'm making these words up. So if we put this here, is that gonna light?
Okay, so this is my question to you, because you taught me about this trick, right? Where you make a light in a game, and then you make it disappear. And then that light source, is still there, but you don't see whatever the thing is that's giving it off.
Mm-hmm.
Does that ever become disjointed, like as you're like walking through a level and you don't actually see where the lights are coming from, like, or is it just something your brain like accepts and moves on?
Say most people wouldn't notice it unless it's pretty exaggerated, but what you'd
Okay.
want to do is create something that looks like it's creating that light source. So there we go. It seems to favor block shaped lights in this. So I might put
You're
something
saying like the
there.
marshmallow wasn't giving off as much?
No, it wasn't illuminating right.
Hmm.
So I might be grabbing too much stuff here. I might put something. Oh, come on. It wants to grab everything but
I love that they built in an undo. Like that's like my fave. My fave.
Why is this not illuminating very much? There it goes. So
What'd you change it to?
I just moved it down a little bit closer to the surface. There. So this is giving off a pretty good light here. And that's kind of what I want for the effect. So what I do is take this block and pull up the properties. It's so weird doing this in VR. You're like ducking under something to get your property window. It's such a weird experience. So you're going to go into behavior and say visible off. And this is what I'm talking about, baked lighting.
It didn't. Oh no! So you're only gonna see it when it's running?
Oh, this is
What
new. They did
happened?
add something, light and shadow. Maybe they turned on dynamic lighting.
I don't. What just happened? Was that like a delay? Because you like turned the toggle and it was like a while before it.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
it's a
it
delay.
calculating
Okay.
the lighting. So this is a new toggle. This tells me they may be adding dynamic lighting because this
What does
wasn't
that
here
mean? What does
before.
that
If
mean
you
for
turn
us? Does that mean bad
visible
things for
off,
us?
then before. Okay, let's try a quick script here and see what it does, because this is going to tell us the truth. So I'm going to get a script. Uh, that's the wrong thing. I'm going to get Gizmo, and we're going to get a trigger and a script, and we are going to create a script to turn that from visible to not visible and see what it does.
Are you gonna make like a flickering haunted house type effect on this walkway?
So this you previously could not do.
Really? You had no
Yes,
controls over the lights once they were on?
correct. And that's called baked lighting. So what it does is when you're building like this, you put all your lights in, it makes the light map for the whole map for the entire level. And then when you're playing, those lights never change, so it doesn't have to recalculate any of the lighting.
Right.
With dynamic lighting, you have some baked lighting, and then you might have something that toggles on and off, like you said, a scary haunted house or something. That
Right.
was not possible before, and that is also more CPU intensive. So let's see what we.
With either like dynamic or baked lighting, do either one of them cast shadows for like objects in play?
That depends. So baked lighting is going to cast shadows for the map environment, but generally not the user.
Okay.
So that is still usually handled with dynamic lighting. So I might walk underneath of this, and you can. This is dynamic lighting because you can see it on my hands, and as I move, I did get
What are you
stuck on
saying?
that.
Are you saying with baked lighting you wouldn't see the light on your hands?
So you can see, yeah, with baked lighting, in older games, they kind of you wouldn't get real dynamic lighting. There would be a light map here that would maybe make you brighter, but not really illuminate you the way this is. This is really dynamic. You could see it as I move here.
Well, okay, can
So
you get the marshmallow up in the air and like hold it hold it under the light and see if it casts a shadow? Does
so
it
I'm
ca-
not seeing a shadow
No. Okay.
unless I leave it. Maybe let's see. See if I leave it, then it'll calculate a shadow, and this needs to get locked.
It
Oh, it doesn't need
is?
it. Oh crap.
Fuel said that more GPU intensive, I guess, as well. And that's what I was kind of worried about. Like I'm excited about the opportunity to like script with lighting and control it more finely, but also are we worried about like our levels going berserk now if they have lighting?
So they would have to put a budget of some kind in, I think. So let's see what we can do. All right. So we've got the light. It doesn't look like it's casting light again. Why? I broke it when I touched something, maybe? It's invisible, but toggle the light again. Okay, it is there. So if I turn it off, it gets pretty dark. There it goes. There's off, and it's on. All right, cool. So when we trigger, after trigger, we also want to be able to walk through that light. It's hitting me. I forgot to turn off collidable. So we don't want it to bump our head. We want it to be
Okay,
invisible.
wait. So something can be collidable even if it's invisible?
Yes.
Can you think of
That's
any time that would be useful?
sure.
Like
So I
a
noticed.
barrier maybe?
Yeah, exactly. So I noticed when I walked up this rock here, I got stuck on it. I was getting stuck actually by the lights. That's not a great example, but yeah, you might want to like put an invisible barrier so I don't jump off that ledge. So that's one thing. If this was too bumpy when I walked up, I might put an
Mm.
invisible ramp on top of it, so I'm levitating just like a
Can you
pixel
do the
above
inverse? Can
bumpies.
you make collidable off but visible on?
Of course. Yep.
Okay.
So if I
Okay.
wanted to be able to like wanted to have a
Morph
hide and
through
seek,
things.
like maybe I wanted people to be able to
Oh,
hide
hide
in the
in the
bush.
bushes. Ah, turn it on. Show us. Show us.
Let's see if we can do one here. Or we
I'm
copied
gonna
it.
be so upset if it's not possible. Fuel said that when I do lighting in ray tracers, shadows require an extra ray trace step. OFC, you can cheat a bit, but still quite expensive. And you have to do one per light source.
Yeah, I don't think ray tracing something that is going to be. I'm hiding in the bush.
Are you?
Yes. See?
It is still there. Oh, that's so
Bush.
cool. Yeah, you got to leave that bush on like that so that we can hide in it.
So that's how you do that.
Excellent. Okay, so yes, I want to see how you can control lighting with the script.
If we can. I don't think we can.
If
So this
you
is an
don't think
experiment.
so,
This was not possible a few months ago.
I feel like you can do it. You
So
just have
there
to
were people doing
believe
some really wild hacks to make that effect happen.
to make it happen.
Yeah. So trigger, and when we enter a trigger, we want to change properties of an object here. So we can hide, show, paint, enable, disable, display, animation, sound. Notice there's nothing in here about turning the what was the property called? Light and
Is it
shadow.
light and shadow? Yeah.
There's no
And
light and shadow. So what
so
we could do is
it would
try to
need to be
hide
under
it,
this effect list, or is there another place might be?
and then we'll do this. Grab a cone, just so we know. where this is at. Trigger box on top of that. When we touch the trigger, it should disable an item. And actually, we want visible. Let's do. When we toggled visible, that seemed to do it. Yeah, I don't think this is going to be possible because that light and shadow is not a.
It's not an effect.
It's not a scriptable property.
Fuel was asking if ambient occlusion is supported, i.e., corners are more dark. I mean, like if you go over in that corner, it is more dark, but I don't know if that.
I don't think it does anything really great.
Like
as far as
that corner, look how dark
goes.
that corner is right there. Yeah. Look how dark that thing is comparatively. So I don't know. You tell me. It's pretty sketch corner.
Usually has a lot to do with like if you have like a haziness too, like shadows and things will clip. They'll clip better in translucent situations. I may be wrong, but that's how I understand it. Yeah, I don't think this is going to work because that property is not there. And if I toggle visible and invisible,
Yeah.
or disable even, it's not going to change the lighting situation.
But so, I mean, maybe this is a step towards that.
Yeah, I think it is because they made it a separate property now. It wasn't a separate property before. It was, if it was there, then it had light, and you just made it invisible, and it still had light, and there was no way to change it to do.
So show me how you would light up this rampway naturally, like how you would just do it and make it look not weird.
So I'm going to use this as a lantern. We can make a pretty lantern later, but this is going. I'm trying to get out of the grid here. I'm in. There we go. I kept getting in. There's the boundary.
It is weird. It is weird because there's never during your normal like day of programming. There's never a time where you have to like physically move yourself so that you can like see the properties of something, right? Like it's all flat, so it's a very odd experience.
Keep trying to lock that because I keep picking it up. All right, so I would put a lantern here, and this one's not going to glow like that one is, but it's going to look like it glows.
Like look like it glows like with its color, or because
you
could do both, right?
We'll make it glow, but we'll bring the intensity down quite a bit.
Did it go down? Oh, you didn't paint it. Okay, I see.
And then you can even.
Fuel said that getting good lighting is more of an art than a science.
Yeah, they changed this as well. There used to be two lighting settings. There used to be this slider here.
Yeah.
And then there was one that was called HDR. And if you turn that one on, it didn't, like when this gets real bright, it almost goes white on me.
Yep.
Oh, there we go. You can see the preview up there.
In the preview,
slide. Yeah. So if you turned HDR on, it would scale like this. If you turned it off, it would keep that color, but the brightness would be super bright still.
Right.
So it looks like they changed that, which I'm wondering how that's going to affect older maps. So I'd put the lighting kind of low on this, but gives the illusion that that light's putting off all of that light.
No, it does.
So that way,
it's nice.
So
yeah,
you could think of it like this. This is our light bulb, and this is our cone of light here.
It is odd though that you moved it like closer to the floor so that you would get like more lit up there, whereas I would have expected the source to be more like on the nose, like true to where it needed to be. But it looks good. Like it doesn't look. I thought it. Yeah, and I thought it would. So
I mean, you could think of it like if you have a regular light fixture in your home, the light doesn't necessarily just like spew out of every corner of it. It has, you have a light bulb inside, and it's emitting a cone of light like this. Probably a little wider, but you get the idea. Maybe not.
Good Lord.
Yeah, so it's going to be something like that, right? From a light bulb.
Yeah, and so
So this mimics that behavior.
it's odd that the square light is better. Did you ever try it with like triangles and
It's
things?
probably
Or
because of the surface area of the bottom here. It's
mm,
much greater than the surface
that?
area of this.
Yeah.
But that,
Hmm.
if we go in, that looks pretty legit.
It does.
And then if we take the lighting in the map, I hit the wrong button. I'm in my
We'll
desktop.
have to remember like in a week or two to like recheck lighting since all these changes are happening right now to see if we can add like a flicker or something fun.
Yeah, somebody did it by actually creating a duplicate of the scene that is like 2 pixels bigger, and then the illuminated scene goes behind it. So I could take here. It's hard to explain with a visual, I think. So I'd have this is my illuminated like object. This is my lit room, for example, and then I duplicate this and I'd make a dark room that's just a little bit bigger, and then put them over the top of each other, and then you toggle the visibility of one room on top of the other. So the dark room goes away and the
What?
light room shows up. I swear this is how they're doing it right now
Oh
in the
my
game.
gosh, no way. That's intense.
Yeah, they're toggling those two things, and they're just slightly overlapping, so you don't notice there's a lit room hiding behind the illuminated room
Oh
or the
my
dark room.
gosh.
But
I love it. I
maybe,
love the way people think like around problems with
yeah.
like limitations, I should say.
Oh, I'm trying to find. There it is.
What is that?
Fog density.
Oh,
This
that's the
is our.
weather. Is everything the same in that or has it been upgraded?
I think this is still the same. I wanted to go to like a dark.
Mm. Yeah,
There
I'm
we
with you
go.
there, Fuel. Limitation
So we can
spurs
see.
creativity.
Now we can really see that.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Ah!
Isn't that cool?
It looks so good.
I love the zoomed out mode. You feel like you're playing with like toys.
It's like your
You're like, ooh, I can
dollhouse
like,
and you're like putting
yeah,
pieces
that's so
together.
cool. I'm not above calling it a dollhouse. I think that's a good analogy. But this is a good way to like check that lighting. I'd love to be able to set dynamic like um, daytime, nighttime lighting. That would be really
Oh,
cool.
like are you saying like turn these off during the day?
Like yeah, like just dynamically like the whole level. Like at nighttime, the lanterns come on. That'd be so slick. But this is how I can do this. Let's try ah, the whole thing. I'm trying to get this to line up. It doesn't need to be accurate like this, but I am a stickler. So do that, and then it's just the right distance.
Why is it I feel like it should be brighter at the bottom now. It didn't brighten when you moved it
Yeah,
down.
it seems like it's not
Is it
doing what it's
broken?
supposed to do.
I think you're I don't know if that's giving off any light.
There we
There it goes. There it goes.
go. Whoops. Boy, a little bit of
Okay, Ed, I
the
might have a
distance we
problem.
make here. Yes.
Well, I mean, you told me that you were having issues with 4 shots of espresso a day.
Mm-hmm.
But like that's a light day for me. Do I really need to worry about my health? Is this
If you're feeling
uh,
okay, that's fine. If you're
um,
not, if you notice anything weird like dizziness, lightheadedness, your heart's not beating in rhythm like mine was
your
not.
heart's not beating. You gotta stop there for a second.
No,
That was a
the
weird.
rhythm was off. It felt weird.
Oh my
Like I would get
gosh.
like felt like somebody walked up and just like kind of shoved me in the back.
Oh my
It
goodness.
was very strange and scary. So
Was it like as soon as you gave up caffeine that it was like
it took
everything
two
was better?
days. Yep, took two
Okay.
days.
Okay. So it did take some time. Okay.
Day one was withdrawals, and that consisted
I
of
was gonna
massive
say.
headaches. Yeah, I had
Yes.
massive headaches for a
Migraine.
day.
Yeah.
And then when
Oh,
the
what
migraine
was
went
that
away,
sparkling?
the symptom.
Oh, the effect
We
from
have a
magician.
special effect, and we used to have it triggered in the entrance here. Just it was one of our experiments to trigger that when we walked through here. But the trigger and stuff got moved out to make room
Oh, okay.
for
Okay.
our path.
I just want to make sure it wasn't related to the lighting that you're doing.
Yeah, so I would do this, and then maybe every other, like,
Oh, somebody
so I
told
might
us the
come
name
here.
of these on Twitter, and I totally forgot it. Like the official name. Fuel said that I had high blood pressure for a while, and part of the fix was no coffee at all. So, Fuel, are you still
Yeah,
off coffee then?
yeah, it will mess with your blood pressures for some people. That was not the issue I had. It was triggering heart palpitations for me.
It's just I'm off. I'm still off Adderall, so it's like a really uh, what's the word? Self medication for me. This is for those of
Yeah,
you who don't know. If you have ADD or ADHD, stimulants help calm you down and focus. And Adderall is like a, easy, like take this pill and with the stimulant and it's like done. But like I'm kind of like trying to make it work with coffee right now. But I do kind of have a lot. So I don't know. I don't know what the limit should be. Although I do try to drink a
and
gallon of water a day, so I know that helps.
one of the really weird things was is it snuck up on me because it was like I was fine. I bought the espresso machine a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd think if you're going to have a problem, it's going to show up as soon as you start that behavior. But it was over a year after I had already had it and was using it that
Oh,
it
so
just
that would be weird. You'd be like, "Where is this
overnight,
coming
like,
from?"
yeah, it was just like overnight. It was like boom, like all this stuff started going wrong. And the doctor's like, cut the caffeine. And I'm like, but this just started like today. And
Yeah.
I've got this machine I've been using for months and it didn't make sense. And I was like, I'm going to try it though, because she said so. And I'm not one of those people that's going to ignore my doctor because I feel like I know better. She's the one that went to school and learned doctory things, not me. What is this? This magic
Yeah.
box
Fuel said that
triggered.
he can get a caffeine kick from a can of Coke now because he still doesn't drink coffee. Cannot imagine. I cannot imagine pop having any kind of effect like that. That would be incredible.
Like I cannot handle those Red Bull type things. That is not for me. That will hurt me.
Mm,
That
mm.
causes physical pain for me.
Are those supposed to have more caffeine than espresso?
I don't know, but I've tried stuff like that and I've regretted it every time.
Mm.
So there we go. Like that's kind of what we would want from our lighting, I think. And I would I would design a lantern, not just have a ball there, but that's
Yeah,
interesting.
Fuel said that Red Bull's off limits for him as well, and they contain taurine. I don't know if I said that wrong.
Oh yeah, it's
Probably.
like taurine, something
Mm.
like that. It's
I
it's
think
like
that
an
looks so
herbal
good.
stimulant. Cool.
I love it.
So
I'm so excited
there's
to go and
lighting in a
design a
nutshell.
lantern now. Although I don't want to make it a competition because anything non-organic, you kick my butt. So
Oh come on now. I'm digging our
I, lo-
little rock bath thing though. This looks
I
really
think it looks
tight.
so
I like it.
good.
Like that looks like a finished piece of the level now versus like the rest of this. That's all white block.
What?
So this is how you can see like you go by like grid by grid. Like this is our ramp, and then we do it and we finish it, and then we'll do this, and it'll start looking like that. And by the time you do all of your areas, you're like, holy cow, this thing's an actual place we can visit. Isn't that
I'm
cool?
still surprised that you don't have one cohesive floor. Like I really expected us to be like that green floor that we have right there. Like I expected us to have like one like and this is our official floor that no one can fall through and then like building layers on top of that. Like I don't know, I guess I just
I
it's
find
almost like more piecemeal where you're like putting the puzzle pieces together like and like making sure everything doesn't have holes. I don't know.
I
Explain
find when
yourself.
people build a level, they'll do this, and they're like, "This is my floor," and it goes all the way everywhere, and
Uh-huh.
then they build everything on top of it, and there's
Uh-huh.
no vertical or there's no z axis to it. It's just everything's on the single plane, and then it feels very artificial because nothing in life is like this unless you're in a building. If you're building it inside of like a office building, this is a great way to start. But when you need like hills and valleys and you want it to feel like it's outdoors, this is bad because the minute you want to make something that's lower, then how are you going to go lower? You end up having to take this back and then make something lower, and then you've got this weird chunkiness.
I see. I guess I was more worried about people falling through the map at intersections, and like that way, like we have a bedrock where like no one's going to get lost.
What I would do is, we'll have our different sections like this, and they might be different height elevations and things, but we'll make a couple copies here just to kind of exaggerate it.
You should turn the lights back on, Ed. It's really dark.
This is dark mode, like developer
dark mode.
Right? So we might have these different areas that have a little bit of offset in them. They don't.
And you're not worried about somebody falling through that.
But what we'll do when we're done, when we're all done.
Oh, there's more. Oh, wait, there's more.
Is we will take another block like this, and we will make it invisible, and we'll go like this. And we'll find a common point where we don't want people to fall through.
Okay, I see.
And then we'll do that. And then if people are still like half falling through this one, we'll make another invisible block underneath here, just to block people from falling into the red block below.
I gotcha. Okay, no, that makes sense. I feel like you just don't want that. It's like that limits your own ability to be creative with the ground, and so you don't want that predefined because you're putting it in. Yeah. You're just putting it in last.
I mean, if I wanted this whole structure here to be higher, I can just take all of this and highlight the ground around it, and I can bring this up, and then it'll be, there'll be elevation here, and then I can create some sloping to kind of fill in that gap. If it's a solid ground, you're kind of stuck with this, where this gray grid is.
Yeah.
The gray grid's like a good reference point, but I don't want to use this as my...
I was going to say, can you control the gray grid?
Yeah, you can turn it off. That's about it. You turn it off and on.
But you can't like control its size or anything?
No. So I can take this show grid off. Boom, it's gone.
Oh no, I think the last time you did that, we never got it back.
So now you can see it's off, but I can't land where I want to land. There we go. So now
So will you fall?
Oh yeah, I'd be able to fall right down there. I'm digging the night mode though, like the trees are all glowy and cool. But yeah, this looks pretty good. See how it's very square and flat in here, though?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, this could use some more landscaping, I think. And if we didn't have the green block, the green block's okay as a temporary. Like, we need to be able to have some sort of...
Okay, show me in a small area over here. Like, make the green block smaller, and then show me what you would do to mitigate the flatness in this area, because like I'm imagining like stair steps, and it doesn't look very good in my head.
As you yawn at me while I'm
trying
to entertain.
I have I've been going downhill slowly with my...
You have little ones.
I know.
That's all you need to say.
He's in a sleep regression right now. He was sleeping so solid, and now I think he's afraid of the dark, and we don't know where this came from. I'm like, why are you afraid of the dark all of a sudden? So I think one of his friends told him, like, we'll come in, and he'll be like, the cars will get you. And I'm like, baby, the cars aren't going to get you. Like, the cars. Because we tell him to, like, not play in the road and to hold hands when we cross. And so he's like, Mommy, the cars will get me. I'm like, baby. No.
This is just a basic.
Okay.
Here.
Okay.
Something like this.
I need some more light though to actually see this, because I cannot see.
Yeah, That'd probably be
I can't see a thing, chicken wing.
falling.
Will you fall forever? Like, what happens?
I think you eventually get respawned. These menus, I swear, they need to show up where you're looking. Stop moving on me. Lighting. We had sunset, I think. Yeah. There we go. So it has some, it has some terrain here. And then I might add some other things like bushes and things to help with it as well. But at least it's not one solid flat block through the whole level. I believe I can
No, I
see
like it.
underneath. I can see underneath though.
Fuel said you hit y equals negative infinity and the universe is rebooted.
And then another thing you could do is see how this is sloped this way. You could take this block and you can grab the little.
like-
I'm gonna make a copy as I grab the rotate.
Oh, the rotate thing. I never remember about using that. I just like manually like walk in a circle. Like
And you can kind of connect it like this.
okay.
And now you've got another slope on this side. So I can't get it to snap.
The snap,
right.
yeah.
Snapping
really wonky right now. What the flip? Who are you snapping to?
Why? It's doing this. What is it doing?
Not our big octagon.
Snap appropriately. Did I not rotate it right? That's what it is. It's not rotated correctly. I rotated it too much. Yeah, I had it rotated too much.
Oh, okay.
Now we can take this and pull it back. Ish.
Good slap on there. That's perfect.
It was over here somewhere. Close enough. We'll be probably playing with that at another time anyway. But
okay, I like it. So that's how you avoid the flatness.
Yep.
No, it does look so much better. It does, yeah.
And you can use multiple of these little hilly ideas too. They don't have to be so big. So you could use some triangles at different variations to make kind of humps.
What's sticking below? Is that just one of the rocks?
Yeah, it's okay if things stick through. So we could take this and group it and copy it. So
why won't you let us copy? Why?
So you can move this down like that. You can have, small elevations as well.
Do you color it differently or leave it the same?
You could do whatever you want with it. You could color.
I do what I want.
Make it sand, make it whatever. Now, in other 3D environments, you get more of a mesh to work with. You don't have meshes in this. Yes.
What are you talking about?
It's probably easier if I share something outside this, because I can't make one properly in here.
Mesh?
Can't quite get this to line up.
Who is this mesh you speak of?
There we go. So you can do something like that too. So
you need to flip it upside down.
Flip it upside down.
Yeah, like if you flip it upside down, then instead of creating this like inverse hill, it'll just be a flat spot in the hill. You see what I'm saying?
You could do that.
So then it's like
a block.
But I would have to match the angle. But yeah, I love this. I'm gonna totally work on the grass, as one calls it, and try not to be so finite as with the pebbles. But tell me what you were talking about with mesh.
Sure. Let's see.
What are you talking about?
There we go. And I'm going to stop my screen share for a second. And let's see. It'd be easier if I took this off. And I never went on my Oculus for the microphone, so
Oh, your microphone.
nobody
it was
said like turn up your
it,
mic, huh?
it was picking you up pretty well.
Okay, that's
I right now, like obviously I hear the difference, but before, I don't know.
I keep forgetting to do that. 3D mesh. So usually you have what's called a mesh when you're working in 3D. So you have this is what 3D terrain should look like instead of a bunch of blocks just glued together. Oh, I'm not sharing my screen. It helps if I share my screen. Eh, eh. Chrome tab, share. There we go. This is what it usually looks like. So you have all these vertices that you can grab and move, and you make terrain that looks like this. So this is a much better way, but they don't have these tools available because this would probably blow up our
budget.
our budget in a heartbeat.
Yeah, but it's really cool though. And they call these meshes.
Yeah, so 3D mesh. These are really fun to build, by the way. This is something we should do on a show sometime, but I'd have to get familiar with some tools again. It's been many, many years since I've used them. But you can pretty much model anything you like. I used to do all sorts of stuff. I don't know if I have.
Is it all by hand or is some of it math? Like, are you like actually like pulling vertices up and down, like, or is it like you're inputting equations to make it
There's
happen?
different ways to do it. So, let's see, for example, that's not a good one. This is a good example here. So this rabbit is a good way to show you how some of this works. So there's a concept called smoothing. So you can create like a much rougher outline of an object and then smooth it and then smooth it again. And what it does is it takes the triangles and it breaks them down. So for each triangle you have, it will, I'm trying to remember the term for this. It will, it's a fancy word for breaking the triangles down.
Tessellate?
Yes. Somebody in chat's got it. Yeah. So this is tessellation, and it will break these down into smaller sets of triangles for you. So you can do some of this. You can also weld things together. So you can take two shapes and tell it to weld shape A and shape B, and it will find common vertices, and it will mesh them together. So you can
Did
take.
you see what Fuel said about the landscapes? It's on screen right now. He said that landscapes are often created by overlaying noise functions over and over again, which surprisingly good results come out of very simple ideas. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, this is one. This looks like a
sound waves.
There is a algorithm for this, and it's actually in Horizon as well to use for different functionalities. Yeah, you can't use it on terrain, but you can use it for other stuff. Somebody made one with a grid of blocks that would like float like this using that algorithm.
Shut up. That is so cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. I can't remember what it's called, but it's in there.
That sounds perfect for water, to make like look like it's water.
That's exactly what it looked like. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm trying to find a good example of like a weld. I guess like if you had a hand, you modeled a hand and you wanted to attach it to an arm, you could model the hand and the arm separately, and then you could put the hand near the wrist, overlap it, say weld these two things together, and it will take and make it one object.
Okay.
So it'll take the vertices, it'll snap them together and make them one vertice that's shared. So you can weld things.
Do you know why Fuel said
you can subdivide too?
Do you know why Fuel said FBM?
No.
I was checking, see if that was some secret function thing I didn't know about.
Yeah, but doing this is really fun. I've modeled. Let's see if I can find something. Uh, so I helped somebody with a day to feet map back in the day, and there used to be a picture of it.
Oh, Fuel said one algorithm is called FBM, so I guess that's what you meant. Not sure though. Bit O'Brien said, "Whoa, Dodd or DOD."
Yeah, Day of Defeat was amazing.
Mm.
It was a fun game back in the day. I am having a hard time finding my. It's been so long, like the internet is not even having search history for some of the stuff that I used to do. So, like this was a town we modeled for Counter-Strike.
That's so
Let's see if I can
fun.
visit this.
Fuel wants to know when we will do 3D fractals.
Never.
Seems like a
Not in the
big
cards.
promise.
So this is old. So this is like 96 through 99 era, time frame. So, before Alyssa was born. No, just kidding. Pretty close. But yeah, we built this map. This doesn't have my 3D models in it though. It's technically 3D modeling, but it's done on a very blocky. You could tell this is like very, very blocky.
I mean, I don't think it gets blockier than Horizon.
No, it doesn't get blockier than Horizon, but this is pretty blocky here.
Because I'm like looking at this looks much more detailed than.
See if I can
what
find
we're
any
used
of
to.
my other stuff here. I'm trying to find one that actually has a real 3D model in it. I think maybe this one has one.
Fuel
So I did
said,
like
"How
a
do
big
you
water
create?"
tower.
Oh, Fuel said, "How do you create sky domes?"
You can't in Horizon. There's no
What is
skybox
a
that
sky
you can
dome?
control. So a skybox or a sky dome. There's my water tower. So this was actually a 3D mesh water tower. So it's got like a nice round bottom on it, and cone top, and it's textured.
We're not seeing it. Did you put it on screen?
Oh, I thought I did. It must have went to. Oh, it's not sharing all the tabs. Let's try that again. It only says Chrome tabs, but it won't let me share. Sorry, that one. So we can do.
Oh yeah, the water tower.
Yeah, rusty old water tower. So it's actually very detailed if you could get close to it, but this isn't. And then somebody did an airplane that was pretty detailed there. It's part of the scenery in the game. So these are really fun to build because it's kind of like working with clay, but virtually. So you get like virtual clay, and you get to like
I
move
know, it
things around
sounds
and
really
shape
fun.
it.
Like sculpting, yeah.
Skyboxes and skydomes. So those are like the infinite like void outside of the map. So like it's usually filled with the sky, whatever the sky texture is, and the light that comes from the sky. And more modern engines project them on a dome. The old ones did a box, just did like a giant square that was just like infinitely outside of the play area.
When I play Arc and I'm flying too high on my Wyron and I like hit a ceiling and then I hit a wall and it's a box, it's very much box shaped. You're just talking about the map, like the limit of the map.
Could be. Here, I can share. You can kind of see the one that's built in to Horizon. There is one in Horizon. You just have no control over it. So the sky dome in here is this gradient. So there's actually a 3D ball that is around you,
So
but
you're
it's
just talking about our
projecting.
environment effects?
It is an environment effect, but there's a theoretical sphere around the entire level that the sky is projected on top of.
Really? Seriously?
Yeah. Mhm.
Oh, okay. Also, do you see in the corner, like the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, there's something falling repeatedly?
That's one of your leaves.
Thank you. I just wanted to make sure
Just
it
one
wasn't
of your
like butter
leaves.
gun falling off the map or something. Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
okay.
in Half-Life or the Half-Life engine, you'd actually have to go paint individual blocks to tell it where the sky was.
Really? Like the sky as in not the boundary in which the player can hit, but the sky as in the
Yeah, you'd have to
decorative
actually
sky?
create a physical element and tell the game engine this is the sky, and it would project the skybox on top of it.
Hmm. Fuel said, I was wondering if a skybox is typically just a bitmap or a mathematical function or a combination.
It can be anything. So in Half-Life, you can see like this one is actually, it is a literal box. Like this is the sky box. Jesus, I get it. I get it.
Sounds like you're wrestling some pop-ups over there.
It won't go away. I just wanted to see the graphic. You can. I'm probably not sharing it again.
No, you're not. We're still
Darn
seeing
it!
the.
Share the
Sorry, I
link.
can't tell when when it's time to
Share.
switch screens. I'm like, is it now? Is it now?
Share. This one is a literal box, and this is like a template for it. Like this is
Mm-hmm.
the top of the box. This is the bottom
Mm-hmm.
of the box. This is all the sides of the box.
I've seen these things for sprites in like older websites where you have like all of your like you might have something that's like built out like that in a sprite and then you use it in a weird way on the web. Is that kind of what they're doing
Kind
where
of.
they take pieces and paint it in a certain spot?
Yeah. See, this is the sky that is painted on the level, and this is the top. This is if you look up, you'll see that, and
Yeah.
there's probably an algorithm in the game to take the box and make it like a little more domey. But
Really?
yeah,
How fun.
there's the box, and this is what it looks like in game. So if you're looking in game, this is the level here, and this is the sky here. Level skybox.
Fuel said that looks like a bitmap, but the skybox in the tool you use looks easy to compute from the ray.
Yeah, in Horizon, it looks like it's just a gradient that's mapped to the box. It's cheap to do that, just to paint a gradient versus painting a bitmap.
Mm.
These were so much fun to make, but the levels for these games got so detailed that you'd need like multiple people just to make like one asset versus one person to make an entire level. At that point, I stopped doing it. It's just can't do that much by yourself. Used to be able to complete a whole level in a couple months by myself. And then it was like, well, you need a team of 3 to make a texture now. It's not just a texture anymore. There's a texture, there's a there's a light map, there's a shadow map, there's a reflective map. Like a texture has like 5 textures that lay on top of it to make it reflect the light, display the shadows.
I don't know. As a consumer,
Yeah.
not a creator, I'm glad it got complex. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, and shadow maps and light maps and reflective maps are weird because they're not like they're abstract. So you have like a brick wall. The brick texture is something visible that you can see. It looks like a brick wall. And then your reflective map is like just like
So just literally
a
how light
color.
interacts with it.
It's like a color value, and whatever that color value is depends on the game engine. Like if it's bright blue, that means it's super reflective. So you'll have like this blue texture that sits over the top of
Oh,
it, and then you'll have a shadow map that has like the example for brick wall again, like the grout for the wall is going to be inset, so it's going to produce a shadow. That's going to be a certain gradient. Maybe it's black for the deepest shadows, and then white for the least amount. So there'll be this other gradient on top, and then there's 4 or 5 of these things that gets applied. So it's pretty nuts.
that's like these photos that I was taking on my phone, and like it was like, do you want to send all the data over? And I was like, sure. And like I downloaded it on my computer, and there was like the photo and how it looked, but then there was like this separate like depthing like shadow like that was like the person's face but with just black and whites, and I was like, what the frick? It's kind of like that
Mm-hmm.
where you've got all these layers that like are compiled together to make the actual asset that you see in the game. But it sounds it's like Fuel was saying that asset development's more expensive than coding.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to make textures and all that stuff, and then it's like, okay, now I need to make five passes for each texture I make. It's like that's
Mm-hmm.
now 5 times the work because I need it's basically simulating all of the material. So,
Mm.
if you have something that's metal, it's going to have a very
I just
bright
assumed there
reflective
was
map on top.
I just assumed there were like, I don't know, things out there that like someone had already built and you can just kind of like use to like duplicate and then kind of morph off of, and that way you're not starting from ground zero for each. I don't know. Is that not a thing in the gaming world?
There's tools to try to help with some of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Here's one. Let me share. I mean, there's always going to be tools to try to free up time for these things, but
Mm.
the more you use these things, usually the more artificial they look versus going in by hand and detailing something out. But you can see this is the normal map, which is like the reflective uh, bumped specular shader. So that's actually the brick wall example I was giving. I didn't know that it
You
was going to be
didn't
so
plan
easy to find one.
that.
But you can see that it's like, see how it's like that weird blue iridescent color? It's not like
Yeah.
a normal, like, can't look at that and go, oh, I know what that is. But it
If
gives it
you wanted, I
the,
would love to download. I don't know what I would need to download, but I would love to download something and build like with you on PCs. Like if we wanted to make something, I don't know how we could bring it over into VR or if we could, but it'd be fun
we
to.
could do Unity, but I don't know anything about Unity. But
We could
I'm sure
we
I
could
could
just do
pick it
anything
up.
together.
I'm sure I could pick up some of
Um,
it, but it's going to take a while. Unity's not something you learn overnight. But you can see the different things I was talking about. Here's another reflective bumped specular map. And this is giving it,
mm,
see, this one has 3 different passes on it. There's a base, there's a cube reflection map. So what
mhm,
this is doing is it's taking, um, there's something, it's very metallic, right? So they're taking something like the sky and mapping it to that as well, because when you have something that's very reflective, it's going to like reflect the environment around it. It's not just going to be shiny. It's going to actually, you'll actually see images in it like a mirror. So they're taking this image and adding it to that reflectiveness. So it looks like it's reflecting the outside world too. So you can think of like games that have weapons, like they have a scope you're looking down. They use a reflection map on that scope lens to make it look like it's reflecting the sky behind you, that type of thing. It's very detailed stuff these days. It's not, back in the day, it was like, this is a scope and it's going to be black with a little bit of shine to it that I'm going to hand paint on. Now people expect a lot more.
mm. I
So
it does look
this is a good
intense
example.
seeing these layers. Ooh, the
There's a good example.
pebbles.
There's there's all the layers. So like this is the texture. This is the specular map. This is the other. So they all create either the reflectiveness of it or the depth of the cracks, and then they add it to the texture, and it all makes that. So that is not available in Horizon. That requires some good GPU processing to do. That's why I had you buy a PC, because it's either a $1,000 PC or a $10,000 Mac to do this type of thing. I don't know why Macs. Ugh, don't get me started.
You're such a PC.
But this is the
lover.
same stuff like I showed last week with Half-Life Alyx with the bottles. Remember, I picked up a bottle and like you could shake it and
the
see
water
the liquid
and the bubbles.
That is,
yeah,
that's all done through shaders.
I love
So
that.
it's a
It's so
flat
cool. But yeah,
surface.
I can imagine it would be like one person's job for like how long just to make the bottle, right? Like,
yeah. So blurry.
You did. You got blurry on us. Well, thank you for this episode. I had lots of fun. We do need to look into other programming opportunities for just to see if we can
finish our level first.
Oh, right. I'm a bit
I do the
ADHD.
same thing all the
I don't know if you
time.
know this. So
I do the same thing.
Okay, let's go look at that shiny thing. Okay, you're right. We're gonna finish out the level. We're gonna have all of our DevRels play through it and tell us how wonderful it is, and then we will go and program on our PCs.
So many piles of half-finished products or projects. So that has been my goal this year, I guess, since the pandemic. Was I had all these half-finished projects around the house, and I would like start remodeling a room and like, okay, this is boring, and then go like build a thing outside and like not finish it, and then do something in another room, and then I was like, I've got all these half-finished projects, and I finished all of them, and I'm like, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to leave these things.
I know. I love that. I love this commitment, and I need more of that in my life. So I love it. We'll finish our level first, and it will be beautiful. Oh, excellent. Well, thank you everybody for hanging out, chatting with us. We'll see you on next VR Thursdays, Into the Unknown. But yeah, that's all I have for everybody.
I love Horizon because it lets me teach like some very basic concepts without like, this is Unity and it's going to take you 2 years to master it.
To get into. Yeah. Well, I was wondering if there was like a halfway between like Unity and Horizon that we could still have more capabilities, but still less than just opening the floodgates. But we'll see. We'll have to shop around.
Maybe some more, what's it called? The VR thing or AR thing for the web was really cool. Because we could make models and still like import them into the little
headset?
hero thing. Remember remember we did the chicken? Made the chicken show up. Like we could actually like build a model and then put it in there. That would be cool.
That would be fun. I'm trying. What was that called? I think it was like ARJS or something.
Yeah, that was the one.
Yeah.
All right. We should go. We have another thing to like.
We have to go and do some things. We got things
to
do.
We actually have to work. we have to work now.
Oh god.
We have to work, Alyssa.
It's never working when it's with you, Ed. Oh well, thanks everybody. We'll see you next Thursday, and I'll be on next Tuesday, this upcoming Tuesday, with Fritz talking Blazor. So come and join us.
I'll be on my channel tomorrow doing Blazor. So I think I'm going to check one thing before we go. I know we keep saying like,
my Blazor dance.
And then we're leaving, but we're not leaving because we keep talking about more stuff. But I want to check something before we go. I want to see if this is out yet. There's some new stuff. And if the new stuff is here.
If you're talking about the King Kong movie, that one is out. If you're talking about the Fast and Furious movie,
the Who's He What movie? Did they really? They really put Fast and Furious in space? Did they do that? That's what I
Don't you
saw in the
dare blaspheme
commercial.
this movie. I'm so excited.
Oh, it's here. Talk about being excited. The thing I was excited about is here. So let me share. Let me share. Let me
What?
share.
Show me.
Share screen. Oh, I love it. I'm so excited. Boom. It's the Telerik UI for Blazor Wizard, and I'm going to play with this on my show tomorrow. It's a
Did
wizard
it like
component.
just drop? When did this happen?
Today, it came out today.
Today. Awesome.
Yep. So it has validation and
Oh my gosh, no way.
stepping, and look how gorgeous that is. Boom. I love it. Yeah, we had a new release today.
Get your wizard on. That's awesome.
We dropped a grid layout. This one is going to be kind of painful for you, Alyssa.
Why?
We have a stack layout, which is basically Flexbox for people that don't want to learn Flexbox.
Yeah.
It pains me as a CSS developer, but I actually advocated for this because I know we have desktop devs, and you saw how desktop was. And those desktop devs are coming over to Blazor, and they don't know how to use Flexbox, so we created.
And so if it's not built into the library, they're like, it's not possible. Right. I know. Yes. I feel you on that. So
they have a Telerik stack layout, and our engineers did a beautiful job on it. So
what's with the release right now? It's like, is this a normal release cycle for you guys?
So Blazor is new, so we ship service packs.
That's right. You guys get stuff like frequently, right?
Yeah. React, I think, is doing this too until we hit a certain maturity. Then we slow down a little bit. But we've got all sorts of... This is nice, though. You can just easily toggle it and stuff without having to write custom CSS code to do it.
That's beautiful. Oh, I'm so excited for you. So that's tomorrow. You're gonna dive into the wizard.
Yeah, I'm gonna build a wizard for my my Blazeport application. Have you seen Blazeport before?
Yes.
The space travel.
With the beautiful, background. I love that background. Yeah. Fuel said Flexbox isn't Grid the hot thing right now. I mean, Grid is hot, yeah, but Flex is still. They both have their own uses, I think. So
yeah, they're different uses for layout. You actually use them together a lot.
There was a bug on my foot. Sorry.
Yeah, so Grid is great if you want even columns. Flexbox is great if you don't care if they line up, and that's like I might have a grid for my page layout, and I might have a Flexbox for my menu that goes across the top of that grid layout. So the menu, when I shrink the layout for like mobile, the items on the menu start like falling in line as I shrink the page down.
Fuel said, will we ever have a decimal type in web?
A decimal type? Yes. So if you use Blazor, you have all of the C# floating point types. So decimal, double.
We need to have a show just on types where you can talk to me about these things and show me where you use these things. Because I'm like, what would be the point?
Math is the point, Alyssa.
Slapping it down, man.
The shorthand version is like an integer is great for something that is very, what do you call it? Finite. Like it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sure, that's great, but that doesn't work very well for, say, money that has a decimal point. And JavaScript has what, number? And it could be any of those things. And then when
I don't see the problem with it. Like I'm not seeing a problem with it.
When you start rounding those numbers, JavaScript falls apart a little bit. And if you're rounding money, people get a little sensitive, even if it's pennies, because they add up very quickly. Yeah. So, or maybe you're trying to, land a spacecraft on the moon or whatever. Those decimal points can be very important. So there are high precision floating points in C#. that can handle these things, which there are not in JavaScript without additional libraries that can
Yeah,
calculate these
I
things.
stand by it. I want a typing show where you show me the
Yeah.
point of all the types.
So there's actually a case where they launched a satellite to Mars. I think it was like a Mars lander type of situation. And one team used metric, and one team used um, uh, the royal inches type of situation. And they didn't calculate the landing correctly because somebody calculated it in centimeters, and then the thing translated it into inches and went into the surface of Mars, and they lost like millions of dollars on this thing. So that is like a very edge case example of where very strong types can be handy, because C# has types, F# has even more types. So in F#, you could actually have a type that is a numeric type that is inches, type of inches. So you can go even further with that. Yeah, so typing can go real nuts if you want to take it that far. But it solves real problems, like we don't want to mess up the conversion of these numbers from one system to another. Anyway, we got way off track again. So we better stop while we're ahead. We keep doing this all day. We have VR or question mark. We already did the VR part. I think if you're just coming in, you missed the VR-ness that we did. We did VR lighting today. So we're getting ready to go. We're ready to leave. Should we raid? Or is TJ coming up? Or he was yesterday.
Thursday? Yeah, it's not actually Wednesday. I fooled you yet again.
You sneaky young lady. Let's go ahead and raid somebody.
Let's see who is on the lines. Who is on the
raid
lines?
Channel. Rito. I've got
who?
We're gonna raid the chicken channel.
Yay!
Have you seen chickens?
I have not seen the chickens. I've heard about the chickens. I haven't actually seen.
We're gonna raid.
So let's do it. Let's do it. Give your best chickeny welcome.
We're raiding the chickens, folks. So get ready to raid the chickens, and we are ready to go. Bye. We'll see you next week.
Bye. Mwah, mwah, mwah.